It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Alright guys, we are back here with another podcast, our fourth podcast, second week in a row. Last week's podcast was a pretty good success. Adriel, we had some new updates to the podcast over the last 2 weeks. What did we do? Tell them what we did.
First off, I'm sure you guys can probably see, we got our new mic right here. That's going to be, let me just go into it. So we're on all platforms now. So you guys obviously know we're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, but now we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, if you're ever on the go, on a road trip, anything, just driving, cruising, go ahead and tap in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can just listen to us on there. And this mic's going to let there be clearer audio so you guys can hear us and everything. So, very excited to announce that, y'all.
Yeah, because I was listening to our podcast in my truck on the way to school one day, and I was like, man, we really need to upgrade our studio. I can barely hear us. So, we got this mic. Hopefully it'll work well. But Adriel, I know you've been wanting this topic of the podcast for a while. It just hasn't been winning the votes on Instagram. And tell them what our topic is today.
Man, so obviously we got, y'all guys probably saw the votes. We got Darth Maul finally. I've been wanting him for a while now. Probably back since our first podcast. He's been up on the polls. I wanted to talk about him with AJ Chapman when he was here, because that Count Dooku, I didn't know as much as Carter and AJ. I was kind of just there for real, but now hopefully I can bring my knowledge here. Because Darth Maul, like I said in the video with AJ, he's in my top 5 Star Wars characters. I think he's probably gonna be top 3 for me.
Alongside with Boba Fett.
Boba Fett
somehow
is in top 5.
Somehow Boba Fett's your top 5 in your top 5. Give us a rundown of your top 5 right now.
So obviously I'm gonna go Luke. Like I said, this is no particular order. Well, Luke's number 1. Darth Maul's up there. Boba Fett's up there. I'm gonna have to go probably Yoda. And then number 5, I'm gonna go Finn.
Bro, what?
All right. Scratch the Finn. I do like him though. Number 5, I'd probably have to go. Probably R2-D2.
That's ridiculous, bro. I can't take you seriously.
R2-D2 is one of the best Star Wars characters out there, and he's been there through all the movies, all of them.
Yeah, but what does he do?
He gets the information from Leia to the Rebel Alliance.
Okay, all right. If that puts him in your top 5, then I can't take that away from you.
Obviously, he was Anakin's co-pilot, and just so much more. Really, I don't know. R2-D2, he's just been there through it all. He may not be the most flashy character, but he's up there for me. Actually, R2-D2 and Bosk are they're both up there.
Bosk? Where did Bosk come from, bro? There's no way.
You get to see him in Empire Strikes Back, and
oh my goodness.
And I love playing with him in Battlefront 2.
Whatever, bro. Why would they put Bosk in Battlefront 2? Out of all villains.
Because he's just the freaking go. He's one of the best bounty hunters out there for sure. I'd rank him above Cad Bane. Rank him above.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
What's the one dude, the human with the mummy wrap or whatever? I forget his name.
Yeah.
He was in Battlefront 1. I'd rank him above him. Maybe not above Boba Fett. But
I can't with you and Boba Fett, bro. And for our YouTube viewers, obviously you can see Adriel's shirt here. It's kind of giving off Stinky Kid vibes, but for our Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners, they obviously don't have to look at this ridiculous shirt he's wearing.
Well, I got this at the mall. I was pretty excited about that, and then Carter and my girlfriend Ava, they both called me Stinky Kids. They said I was a stinky kid for wearing it. I wore it at the school one time. Haven't worn it since, so Darth Maul podcast, glad to bring it out.
And also for our viewers, I obviously have a black eye. I guess I kind of have to tell them what happened. So me and Adriel both played basketball a few days ago in one of our games. I got headbutted on the first play, pretty bad. Had a big old bump on my eye. I could barely see.
But he stayed in the whole game, not being able to see.
I dropped 11 points, 5 assists. tried to do the best I could with that. It was kind of, and we have a game tomorrow. I mean, it's a late night podcast for us. You know, last Friday we did it really early. We skipped school, did the podcast early, had the rest of the day to chill. But now it's 11 o'clock, about to be midnight, and we're just now doing the podcast. But I feel like it's going to be one of our best podcasts, obviously, because we have new additions to our setup. We got a new mic. We're on all platforms now. Check us out on all platforms. And, Adriel, what have you been up to since our last podcast?
Man, I've really just been grinding, obviously school. Shout out Coach Huey's class. We're in there every morning just trolling Coach Huey, messing with them. And Coach Huey, basketball, because we've been having some games here, just starting up for real. Otherwise, I haven't even been working that much.
Yeah, I haven't either, especially since basketball started up.
Yeah.
You know, we just been grinding basketball, and obviously got a game tomorrow in Knoxville.
Yep, excited for that.
I think I'm leaving about 2 o'clock tomorrow to go up there. What time are you leaving?
Before 2, like 1.
Well, maybe they said 1, I don't know.
But
But I'm sure we're going to make it on time.
And then otherwise, just hanging out with friends and my girlfriend, obviously. Also, shout out next week. Don't want to spoil it yet, but we got big, like, you don't understand. Like, we've been planning this podcast for I don't know how long. We have two guests. Obviously, one of them being Adriel's girlfriend, and we won't get into the second guest because she may or may not be on the episode. You don't know. She's iffy about things. But yeah, we hope we can do that. Should we go ahead and release the next topic of next week's podcast? Yeah, because there's no point in throwing a vote up there. Because
it only lost to Darth Maul by 2 votes this week. Darth Maul barely smidged it out this week.
This one's just been it's been up there in every vote we've had.
Yeah,
and
last 2 for sure.
We've just been planning it out for a while. Been waiting to get these 2 special guests on to do it. So as long as at least one of them's good to come on, we're gonna go ahead and do it. And so I'll just let you.
Yeah, next week's podcast is going to be Attack of the Clones recap. Obviously, Attack of the Clones is one of my favorite Star Wars movies, and obviously these 2 guests that's coming on our podcast next week, they're probably their favorite Star Wars movie because they're really invested in the Anakin and Padme romance, which is understandable, especially from like girls, like they like the romance. But yeah, like I love Attack of the Clones. I feel like it's very underrated. Overly hated for sure. Like I think that's one of my most enjoyable films to watch.
And I will go ahead and say, up to probably the last 2 years, Attack of the Clones was above Attack of the Clones was above Revenge of the Sith for me. As crazy it is to hear, I loved Attack of the Clones. Not really any like.
I mean, what does Attack of the Clones set up for Star Wars? Like, it sets up the whole Clone Wars TV show, and obviously Clone Wars, the TV show, is a big success in itself, and also brought Darth Maul back from the dead. Like if we didn't have Attack of the Clones, we wouldn't have the massive TV show, the Clone Wars, and wouldn't have so many good moments from the Clone Wars, from the Attack of the Clones.
Exactly.
And obviously, it brought in Mace Windu's purple lightsaber, Jango Fett, Boba Fett as a kid. Like there was so much. It started the downfall of Anakin's betrayal, and just had really good like moments in the movies that like Count Dooku was in it. Like it's just one of my favorite movies for real.
And I just watching it as a kid, and obviously even up to like the last few years, like my favorite part. Obviously, I like seeing Yoda and Count Dooku go at it, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin and Count Dooku. But I just like the whole battle of Geonosis. All the obviously so many Jedi got wiped out during that fight.
First battle of the Clone Wars.
Exactly. I just loved watching it. I loved because that's when they the clone troopers also, that was their first appearance. They got brought out for that fight after finding out about them, and that was just a whole big deal. Like you said, getting set up for Clone Wars and everything, and so I just love that so much. And that also, another one of my favorite characters, Boba Fett, that set up him becoming Boba Fett because it's when his father got killed.
Well, yeah, and also they continue that like a lot of like episodes in the Clone Wars, like Boba Fett's trying to get revenge on Mace Windu. Like there's this one episode where he like literally almost killed Mace Windu because he was like going undercover to be like a young like clone trooper in training, because obviously he looked like them, and he tried to blow up a Venator, and he almost did kill Count Dooku, but not Count Dooku, he almost did kill Mace Windu, and obviously like Mace Windu is gonna survive because he got killed by Anakin and Darth Sidious and Revenge of the Sith, but like that sets up good stories in the Clone Wars, and like one of my favorite scenes from Attack of the Clones is like obviously the I hate sand scene from that movie, iconic scene, and like there's just so many iconic scenes from that movie. Like I love the first scene when Anakin and Padme see each other for the first time in I don't know how long. Like that's a good scene. Jango Fett, that whole first scene when they're trying to catch that bounty hunter that tried to kill Padme, that was a great scene. But we'll save those discussions for next week because we don't want to get too deep into the movie. But today, before we get into the Darth Maul segment, we're going to go ahead and rank our lightsaber duels just from one lightsaber battle from each movie. So obviously there's 9 full movies like in the in the Skywalker saga. So Adriel, what would be your last in the rankings?
Well, I can't remember all of them, so I'm just gonna go ahead and look.
I'll name them out. So from episode 1, we got Duel of the Fates, you know, and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. And then Attack of the Clones, we got like Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku and Yoda versus Count Dooku. Revenge of the Sith, obviously we got the duel on Mustafar, Battle of the Heroes, and then A New Hope, which this might be the last one for me. Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader on the Death Star, and then Empire Strikes Back, we got Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, and Return of the Jedi, we got Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader 2. The Force Awakens, we got Finn and Rey versus Kylo Ren. The Last Jedi, we got Rey and Kylo versus the Red Guards. And The Rise of Skywalker, we got Rey and Kylo Ren versus Palpatine. And Adriel, what would be your last on those rankings?
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you, and I think it's gonna be hard here because I think all of the original movies are gonna probably be the bottom. They're probably gonna be bottom tier just because like CGI and everything, like the anime,
right.
Like it just wasn't up to state. And obviously, like you can go back and there's some good YouTube videos, especially for Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader and A New Hope. There's a cool animation for that, like what it'd look like if it was filmed here a few years ago. But obviously it's not, and pretty much all you see is Obi-Wan do some slow little circles and walk. And so I think New Hope, Obi-Wan versus Vader, that's gonna have to go in last place for me as well.
Well, you think it's better than anything in the sequels?
Oh,
like in The Rise of Skywalker, we got Kylo Ren versus Rey, and then Rey versus Palpatine. You think those are better than?
I would say so.
You think those are alright?
Well, I can't lie. Rise of Skywalker isn't that bad of a movie to me. Like I think it's overhanded.
Well, no, one problem I have with it, like obviously I don't hate on those movies like other people do, but like just bringing back Palpatine from the dead after like Anakin, like it kind of just ruins him being the chosen one, kind of, because like he killed Palpatine and brought balance to the Force, and then they just bring him back. So like, did he bring balance to the Force? Is he the chosen one? So I don't. That's just my problem with it. But okay, what would be your second to last?
I would also, like I said, I'm probably just gonna go for all the original movies. So I'm probably gonna go. Ooh. I haven't seen Return of the Jedi in a while. Empire Strikes Back is probably my favorite Star Wars movie. So I'm gonna go Return of the Jedi, Luke versus Darth Vader.
You still think those are better than the sequels? Because, like, there's really not that many lightsaber battles in the sequels.
Well, I love the Finn versus Kylo Ren in Force Awakens. Like, I just love where they were at in the snow, and I love seeing, I love the animation and everything in it, and just seeing like the lightsabers light up the whole like area they're in. So like Finn versus Kylo Ren, that's definitely up there for me. And so Rey versus Kylo Ren, that's pretty much the same thing, or kind of up there as well.
You think that's better than a Luke versus Anakin fight? Well, Luke versus Darth Vader fight.
I mean,
you'd rather watch that than Return of the Jedi.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just think the fight itself, just because the animation isn't up to where it should be. Like, obviously, if Return of the Jedi was filmed now, it'd be a lot better, and I'd put that up there. But because I'm not just going off the fight, I'm going off looks and everything too. Honestly, I can't even remember that fight. I haven't seen those movies in a while now, but I'd probably say yeah, Return of the Jedi.
All right, then what's the third to worst after Return of the Jedi? Luke versus Darth Vader. So now what you got left? You got Luke versus Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. Obviously, you got 3 fights you had from the sequels, and then obviously you got Revenge of the Sith, Battle of the Heroes, Attack of the Clones, Anakin, Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku, and Yoda versus Count Dooku, and then you got Duel of the Fates left.
Yeah, we also got Yoda versus Sidious, right? Is that on? I don't know if that's on.
Oh yeah, that's on Revenge of the Sith.
Okay,
yeah, we'll give that a lightsaber fight.
Yeah,
because if we did every single one from each movie, it'd be a long list.
Yeah, I just think Yoda versus Sidious is definitely up there for me. So I'd probably go. Honestly, the guard fight was kind of cool.
I think it's about time to throw some in from the sequels.
That's what I'm thinking. I'd probably go the guard fight. Because they were low-key. They should not have been getting... Especially Kylo Ren. He should not have been, like... It should not have been that close from some Red Guard troopers or whatever. I don't think, at least. So, I'll probably throw in the one from Last Jedi. I mean, that's also, like, my least favorite movie.
Alright, so you got... Your last place was Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader on the Death Star. And then you had... Who'd you have then?
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader, and then after that you just put the Rey and Kylo versus the guards.
Yeah.
So that was your third. All right, then what's your fourth?
It's either gonna have to be. Well, now Duel of the Fates is up there for me. Anakin versus Obi-Wan, that's definitely up there.
Well, we could also, since we're doing Yoda versus Sidious, do we have to do...
Yeah, I think we can. Versus Dooku.
Do we have to do Anakin versus Count Dooku on Grievous' command ship? When he cuts his head off, because that's a pretty good battle in itself.
Yeah, we can. I think all of the prequels are gonna beat out. All of the prequel fights for me probably beat out everything else. So I think I'm gonna go Rey and Kylo versus Palpatine.
So that's your fourth to last.
Yeah.
And then whatever you still got.
I think I'm gonna go back to Luke versus Vader on Empire Strikes Back. Well, no, I'm not gonna do that yet.
You think that's over Kylo versus Finn? Bro.
Oops.
You think that's over Kylo versus Finn?
Oh yeah, I haven't ranked that yet.
You really, bro? Empire Strikes Back, Luke versus Darth Vader is like one of the most viewed, like Star Wars fight ever.
I think I'm gonna go with. Are we counting Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go there then, probably.
Yeah, I would say I'd go there.
Go where?
Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku.
Yeah, that's a quick short fight, and they both get crapped on.
Yeah.
But you think that's better than watching Finn versus Kylo Ren?
Dude, I'm telling you, just like everything from that, because, well, the thing is, Finn was holding his own, and Kylo Ren was trained for so long, so that was.
But don't you think that's a little bit of plot armor?
Yeah, I don't know. I still just like the whole. I like the snow. I like seeing the sabers light up the whole fort, or not the whole fort, but light up the forest. But that is gonna be the next to go right here.
But you just said all the prequel fights are better than everything else.
I was gonna say that, but I had to show some more love to Finn and Kylo.
Guess that's understandable.
Anyway.
Alright, so that's off the board. Now you still got Kylo versus Finn. You still got Luke versus Darth Vader.
No, that's the next to go is Kylo versus Finn.
Kylo versus Finn.
Yep.
Is the next one to go.
Mm-hmm.
So now you just got Empire Strikes Back, and then you got all these off the board.
Yep. Let me go ahead and wipe these out real quick. So I'm gonna save Empire Strikes Back. So I'm gonna go next after that. I'd probably go.
You got everything from Revenge of the Sith. You still have Duel of the Fates, Yoda versus Sidious.
I'm gonna go Yoda versus Dooku next. That was a good fight, but I'd rather put Yoda versus Sidious up there.
And then after that, you still got all the Revenge of the Sith fights.
I think after that, I'm also just gonna go. I think I'm gonna go back to Empire Strikes Back after that. I think I'm gonna do that fight, and then I'm gonna go Yoda versus Dooku. Even though I love, or no, sorry, Yoda versus Sidious. Even though I love that fight, but oh no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Anakin versus Dooku, and then I'm gonna go Yoda versus Sidious, and then it's gonna be the three I have left, I have Duel of the Fates left, and then Obi-Wan versus Anakin, and
that's a big one right there.
Okay, I want to put I want to put Anakin versus Obi-Wan. I really do, but I just love Duel of the Fates so much because I love Darth Maul. And Qui-Gon Jinn was just such a cool character, and Obi-Wan coming in.
Iconic music from
for sure.
I mean, that's one of the most.
I love that soundtrack, or I love Duel of the Fates. So I think I'm gonna put Duel of the Fates up there. With all that being said,
So you'll go Duel on Mustafar, then Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. I probably would have had a most similar to you. I'd probably go all the sequel fights at the last because I just think they're not as good choreographed. And then I'm gonna go Luke versus Vader from Return of the Jedi. Then no. Do Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll do Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi. Then I'll do Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back. And then after that, I just got the prequels left. Probably the weakest lightsaber fights from the prequels are probably the Attack of the Clones ones. Count Dooku versus Yoda, Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku. That's probably the last out of them. And then after that, you just got Revenge of the Sith ones left. You got Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious, Yoda versus Darth Sidious. I'd probably put Mace Windu last, and Obi-Wan versus Anakin. That's a little above. Then I got Yoda versus Sidious higher, and then I would also put Battle of the Heroes next, Duel on Mustafar at the second spot, and then number one I'd probably put Duel of the Fates.
I like that.
All right, I think it's time to get into Darth Maul, our main topic of the day. So, Adriel, you want to start us off reading some facts for Darth Maul?
All right, so Darth Maul, his species was
Zabrak.
He was from Dathomir.
Dathomir.
His affiliation, obviously, the Sith. under Darth Sidious, and then he was later independent, and I'm sure we'll go into it more into it later, but he ended up getting the Darksaber and everything, and rolling Mandalore. We'll go into that as well. His era he lived in was obviously the fall of the Galactic Republic and the rise of the Empire. And his first appearance was in the Phantom Menace, and some people don't know, or a lot of people may not know, but he was not supposed to make it past the Phantom Menace. I don't know if that's just because George Lucas didn't have plans for him to go past, and obviously Clone Wars started, and they saw that as the opportunity to bring him back. And so now he's still kind of going. You know, obviously he was in Solo, the end of that. He's got his own show coming out here soon in 2026.
Yeah, that's can't wait for that to come out. And then his early life, I think it's raining pretty hard outside. His early life, he was born on Dathomir, son of Mother Talzin, leader of the Night Sisters, which, if anybody doesn't know, those are Force-sensitive witches. He was kidnapped at a young age by Darth Sidious, which is Palpatine, to be trained as a Sith apprentice, trained in secrecy to be a weapon of hatred against the Jedi. Sidious molded him into a fierce assassin and duelist, instilling loyalty and rage.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right here, I'm pretty sure he wasn't like exactly taken. His mother kind of gave him up, just oh yeah, actually I didn't know this. His mother gave him up because she originally had the plan. Like Sidious was making it seem like if he gave Maul up, because Sidious saw that Maul was like strong in the Force and everything, and could be for the dark side. They kind of made a deal, and it was saying that the mother was gonna be able to like rule the galaxy with Sidious if given Maul up, and so that's kind of why she did it easily. So yeah, but then obviously that didn't happen, and she kind of got backstabbed. So
yep, and then after that, the Phantom Menace. Obviously, we all know what happens in the Phantom Menace. He was sent by Sidious to deal with the Jedi, which was Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Queen Amidala's group during the Naboo crisis. Duel of the Fates, you know, one of the best battles. We think it's the best battle of all Star Wars. Fights two Jedi that are very powerful in the Theed Palace on Naboo. Kills Qui-Gon Jinn, but then is brutally cut in half by Obi-Wan and presumed dead for I don't know how long. And Adriel, I'll let you take it from here.
yeah, so obviously he gets cut in half, and he's falling down the shaft, and he ends up in like a trash compactor, trash chute or whatever, and really what keeps him alive is just his rage and the dark side. And so he ends up escaping and going, I'm not sure what world, but he ends up getting these mechanical spider-like legs, and he's rescued by his brother Savage Opress, and then healed by his mother Talzin, or how you say that, and she heals him, and you know that's his first time being brought back since he was taken, I'm pretty sure. And so he then gets new mechanical legs, and you know, he gets back his sanity a little bit, because obviously he was cut in half, and what was only keeping him alive was his rage and the dark side. So he comes back into it a little bit, and he kind of rises into this crime lord we got, and his main things are seeking revenge on Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan took everything from him just by losing that fight. You know, he took him becoming the Sith. Obviously Sidious no longer had him as a apprentice, and he got a new apprentice. Took that away from him because Maul was promised just the galaxy ruling under Sidious, and Obi-Wan took that from him when he won. And then number two, obviously Sidious, because Sidious like gave up on him, threw him away after that, and he realized he had been used by Sidious, of course. And so he starts to build this criminal empire called the Shadow Collective, and that kind of just unites groups like I'm not even too familiar with this, but the Black Sun,
Pike Syndicate,
and then
Mandalorian Death Watch.
Yeah.
Becomes the ruler of Mandalore after defeating Pre Vizsla in a gruesome fight in the Clone Wars. He fights Obi-Wan again and kills Duchess Satine Kryze, which is Obi-Wan's like love interest, and obviously Obi-Wan's very upset about that. The downfall. Sidious sees Maul as a rival and confronts him. Defeats and tortures Maul, killing his brother Savage. He spares Maul to continue using him as a pawn. During Order 66, Maul escapes capture and goes into hiding. During the Rebels era, now he simply goes by Maul, no longer a Sith. Obsessed with revenge and finding purpose, he manipulates Ezra Bridger, a young Jedi, to help him find Obi-Wan and possibly the key to defeating Sidious. He finds Obi-Wan on Tatooine. In a brief emotional duel, Obi-Wan kills Maul swiftly. Maul dies in Obi-Wan's arms at peace, believing the Chosen One, Luke Skywalker, will avenge both of them.
And I do want to speak right there. I also, for a while, I assumed that Luke Skywalker was the Chosen One. And it's kind of been brought to my attention that no, it was Anakin all along, but I was kind of there as well. I thought he was the Chosen One. He was going to bring balance, which, like, he did, but really it was Anakin, still the Chosen One. So there is that. And obviously, Darth Maul, Maul, he was killed on Tatooine by Obi-Wan. That was a little bit before A New Hope. Obi-Wan was still older. Like, you can go watch the fight in Rebels.
He was still older. They were both old. And Obi-Wan actually beats him by, he goes through a few stances while he's getting ready to fight, and he ends up baiting Maul with Qui-Gon Jinn's stance. And so, he uses that, and so Darth Maul's going for the same move he had against Qui-Gon Jinn when he got him, and Obi-Wan uses it as bait, and when he goes for it, Obi-Wan slices him in half. So, there was that.
Alright, we pretty much wrapped everything up about Darth Maul. We'll get into him back in a little bit in our What If segment. Right now, we are going to our yes or no segment. So we are just answering a few questions, giving a yes or no answer, and discussing it. So the first question, are the Sith misunderstood? You go first, Adriel.
Well,
yes or no?
in a short answer, now, I'd say yes, because of the rule of two. But back when there was multiple of them, I'd say no, they were in the wrongdoing. But now, I think the Sith could be seen as misunderstood. Maybe.
Let me think about this real quick.
Actually, scratch that. Knowing what Sidious did, I don't think they were misunderstood.
I mean, I feel like Sith, like Count Dooku, are kind of misunderstood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But, like, at the end of the day, I mean, what they stand for, like what Sidious does, just having so many, like, slaves for the Empire, just having this Empire that just isn't good to people, like, that's just not right. And obviously, he's the main guy of the Empire. He's the Emperor. And so, no, I don't think the Sith are misunderstood. Going into our next question of the yes or no segments, we got, is Obi-Wan the greatest Jedi of all time?
Well, when you're looking at well, no, it's just yes or no. I'd say no.
Okay, who do you think's better?
I think Yoda's better.
Yoda?
I think so. Because if we're looking at what a Jedi really is, not supposed to have like the love companion or like a love companion or whatever, and any of that, and not supposed to show that much emotion or be attached. Like you said, Obi-Wan did have that love interest in Clone Wars, and you just never see any of that from Yoda. Like, Yoda follows the code, obviously, and I think Obi-Wan just, I just don't think he's as close as Yoda is, but he's definitely up there for sure.
I'm gonna go yes. I think Obi-Wan is the greatest Jedi of all time. Just cause, like, he's just an embodiment of the light side, he's never really been tempted to turn to the dark side, Yes, he did have that love interest, but he never really acted out on it. Yeah, I just think I just don't know who would be better than him. I don't think Yoda's better than him because Yoda made so many mistakes throughout the Clone Wars and through the Galactic Republic era. And I just think Obi-Wan trained Anakin, trained Luke. I mean, that's two of the most powerful Jedi of all time. So I mean, yeah, I think he is. And on to our third question. Is Rogue One the best Disney Star Wars film ever produced? So, the Star Wars films that were produced by Disney is obviously, we got Rogue One, Han Solo, the 3 sequel films. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, besides shows, yeah, it was just the movies. Yeah, I'm a big Solo guy, but I would definitely say Rogue One was better all around.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
up.
Rogue One's getting, like, every time I rewatch Rogue One, it's getting up there. Like, it's just getting more and more up there on my list. Like, I wouldn't say it's in my top 3 because, like, obviously there's so many good Star Wars films, and obviously, like, I love the prequels, I love the originals, so I don't know if it's in my top 3, but I most definitely probably have to put it in my top 5. I just think the way it leads into New Hope, it makes A New Hope better for me, and I just think it's greatly written. Obviously, you get shows like Andor out of it, and it's just beautifully filmed. Obviously, being filmed in 2015, it just looks amazing. Like the scene on Jeddah when they destroy the city, it's just beautiful. And yeah, I think it's obviously the best Disney Star Wars film ever filmed. And maybe next year when The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out, maybe that'll pass it, but I just don't think so. And into our 4th yes or no question, we got, was Anakin truly evil?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I just think he was too focused on saving his wife, but you gotta understand, like, that's all he wanted. He was seeing the dreams where she kept getting killed and everything and hurt, and he was just wanting to save her, and he thought that was the way. And then Sidious manipulated that after he already thought something was going on between Padme and Obi-Wan, and he said that Sidious goes on to say that Anakin killed Padme, and I think it just set him up for failure.
Well, I'm gonna go with what you said, but I'm gonna say, yeah, he was truly evil to a certain extent. Like, when he first, yeah, like, he was trying to save Padme, but, like, you don't go killing a bunch of younglings, kids, all this, and then afterwards, after Padme dies, like, just killing everybody you see, pretty much. Like, that's evil. Like, I get it. Like, he's grieving of his wife's death, and, like, he has nothing left. Like, he's got no limbs. Like, he's just angry all the time. So, yeah, I think he was evil at times, but also understandably, and it is what it is. I think, yeah, he was truly evil, but obviously he got redeemed. So, on to our 5th and last yes or no question. We got, was Anakin's fall to the dark side believable?
I'd say so.
I mean, yeah, I think it's believable. Like, obviously, the original trilogies were made before the prequels, so, like, you have to make Anakin turn into Darth Vader. But I feel like there's good reasons that he turned to the dark side. Like, obviously, not having the best, like, mentors, like, guiding him the way he should have been guided. Like, just telling him to get rid of his feelings. Obviously, not seeing that he's having a relationship with Padme. Just really don't help him. And obviously, he gets visions about Padme dying, and that sets him down a path to find any ways necessary to keep her alive, because he's afraid of losing her just like he did his mom. So yes, I do think his fall to the dark side was believable. And we got a next section, keep 2, cut 1. So we have 3 things. We're going to keep 2, cut 1. We have 5 different ones, and these are all new segments to our podcast. I'm excited for this one. And so for our first one, Adriel, keep 2, cut 1. We got A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Attack of the Clones. So keep 2, cut 1.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut A New Hope. I think
You think A New Hope's better than Return of the Jedi?
No, I think Return of the Jedi is better than New Hope. Obviously, New Hope sets up. I mean, it's the first Star Wars movie, but I still think that. It's better.
So you got Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, because like I said, Attack of the Clones was up there for me for a while, and Return of the Jedi is up there for me for sure. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, I'd probably go. Honestly, I'd probably go New Hope and Attack of the Clones. I'd cut Return of the Jedi just because. Well, I haven't really seen a Return of the Jedi in a while. I just like A New Hope, like I said, because of Rogue One. I just think those two movies go so well together. And our next Keep 2, Cut 1, we got Anakin, Mace Windu, and Yoda. So Keep 2, Cut 1.
Man, I love Mace Windu. Obviously, he's black, got the purple saber, but I think he's gonna have to get cut right here.
So you're keeping Anakin and Yoda?
Yeah.
Alright, well obviously we're both gonna keep Anakin, but I'm gonna go Mace Windu. I just think Mace Windu, like, he's a unique character. I'm not very fond of Yoda. I don't think he's that good of a character. Like, I just think he's not that wise. He just makes a lot of mistakes, but that's okay. I'll go Anakin and Mace Windu. Our next Keep 2, Cut 1 is Keep 2, Cut 1. We got Padme, Leia, and Rey. Keep 2, Cut 1.
I'm cutting Rey.
You cutting Rey? Yeah, that's respectful. I'd probably have to keep Padme and Leia. Padme is obviously not going anywhere. Leia, obviously, she's one of the original baddies of the Star Wars franchise. And then Rey, nobody likes Rey, so she's getting cut. Alright, the fourth one, we got X-Wing, TIE Fighter, or Millennium Falcon. Which one's getting cut?
Ooh, I always loved the X-Wing since I first saw it. And honestly, TIE Fighters are cool too, but I think I'm gonna have to cut the TIE Fighter.
You're cutting TIE Fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, here at the Millennium Falcon podcast, we love the Millennium Falcon. So yeah, I'm keeping the Millennium Falcon. But I think TIE Fighter's a little bit cooler than X-Wings. So I'm gonna keep the TIE Fighters. And our last Keep 2, Cut 1, we got Duel of the Fates, Duel on Mustafar, or Luke versus Vader, Empire Strikes Back. Keep 2, Cut 1.
I have to go Luke versus Vader, unfortunately, for the cut.
Obviously, Duel of the Fates is not going anywhere. And obviously, I think Duel on Mustafar isn't going anywhere either. So I'm cutting Luke versus Vader on Empire Strikes Back. Alright. Our last segment of the day. Adriel, we got what if questions for Darth Maul. So you ready for the first one?
Yep.
We got, what if Darth Maul had actually killed Obi-Wan? Would the saga have changed?
Oh, for sure, definitely would have. If Darth Maul killed Obi-Wan, obviously, he would have came back. He's the first Sith to appear in years, and he already killed 2 Jedi. Nobody would have been able to stop him on Padme's ship, so he would have been able to take Padme and everything. Just stuff like that. And so, really, there's so much more to it, but then like Luke, I don't even know. I cannot think that far.
Like, obviously, yeah, it would have changed a lot because, like, Obi-Wan isn't there. Qui-Gon isn't there. It's just Maul. I think he obviously would have took Anakin. But, like, I don't know. That's a hard question because then Palpatine, he's the Chancellor already, so he pretty much, well, the Jedi Order's still there. Like, it'd be hard to, like, dissect that. What would happen? Obviously, the Sith would probably, they already have Anakin, so I think that makes it harder for Palpatine to overthrow the Jedi Order because you don't have Anakin pretty much acting like a spy because he has that attachment to Palpatine and he's still a Jedi, so I think that's hard to tell. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a what if Star Wars show. That'd be pretty cool to see. Our next what if Darth Maul question is: do you think Maul would have been a better master for Anakin than Palpatine was? You want to answer the question, buddy?
I'm thinking. I'm gonna let you go first on this
All
one.
right. It depends, you know. Like Palpatine's obviously one of the strongest Sith ever, but like, could a Darth Maul became that strong? I don't know. I think Palpatine really doesn't have Anakin's best interest at heart. But also, would Darth Maul have his best interest at heart? I don't know. I think, honestly, he couldn't be worse than Palpatine was. So, I think it's 50-50. I'm going to just go, yeah, I think Maul would have been a better master for Anakin. What do you think?
Yeah, so actually, I was thinking about this here recently. I think Maul could have been, if not would have been, like one of the best Sith for there to ever be. That's just saying, like, obviously he doesn't get killed by Obi-Wan in the first movie. Like, he goes on, keeps getting more powerful, you know, and everything. Because he was kind of cocky. That's why he lost in that fight, or one of the reasons. But I really think that he would have been one of the greatest Sith. So yeah, I think he would have been a better master.
All right. Our third question for the what if Darth Maul. What if Darth Maul had been redeemed instead of being consumed by revenge? What kind of life would he have had? So, like, instead of being consumed by his revenge after being cut in half by Obi-Wan, what if he started seeing the light and started practicing the light side ways? What kind of life do you think he would have had?
Well, I think it's really coming down out there. I think that Maul. I really think. Wow, this is a hard question. So when are you saying this is after? Like, when does he get redeemed?
Like in the Clone Wars, like he gets cut in half.
Ooh,
He's still
okay.
down in the pits, like, and then he gets his robotic legs. What if he started not being consumed by revenge and started being redeemed instead? Wait, what kind of life do you think he would have had?
Honestly, I think he would have just gone into like hiding somewhat. He would have really. I can just see him as being kind of like a homeless guy who's like asking for money or everything, or maybe he's like. I see him kind of living the life you see in the Obi-Wan series that Obi-Wan's living. That's what I see from him, and you know, maybe just protecting people who need it.
Then he knows, obviously, if he started collabing with the Jedi, which he kind of does at the end of the 7th season of Clone Wars, he would have been a huge help to bring down Sidious because he knows who Sidious is, and he knows that Palpatine is Sidious. So, obviously, he would have helped bring down Sidious, and obviously he didn't do that. So, I think he could have had a good life. Obviously, he wouldn't been killed by Obi-Wan and Rebels. He would have had a better life, but you know that's not what happened. All right, our fourth what if Darth Maul question: what if Darth Maul had appeared in the sequel trilogy? How would he have interacted with Rey, Kylo Ren, and the First Order?
I think it kind of would have been how he is in Rebels when he meets Ezra. I think he just would have like messaged, and then I think he kind of would have. Well, I'm not sure. What's your thought on this one?
I feel like depends on how his character development has came. He probably would have tried to train Rey. Obviously, her being the granddaughter of Palpatine, he probably would have tried to train Rey to probably take down Kylo Ren in the First Order. I don't know. That's a hard question. Obviously, we would love to see what would actually happen with a TV show, but we'll see. And our last and final what if question for Darth Maul: what if Darth Maul had survived long enough to confront Luke Skywalker? would he succeeded or failed? So pretty much, would Darth Maul beat Luke Skywalker in a fight?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I think Darth Maul claps Luke Skywalker in a lightsaber fight. Pretty easily, actually.
I mean, that's for you to say, but like I said in the fight, Maul's not too good in tune with the Force, especially right now, and so I think Luke takes it even with just his Force ability.
Nah, I'm not gonna fall for that rage bait.
Alright, bro.
I think he easily beats Luke Skywalker in a fight. And that's it for our segments today. Obviously, today was a good podcast. Darth Maul pretty much wrapped his story up, had a good few segments on him, and just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank for everybody that follows us on YouTube, follows us on Spotify, find us on Apple Podcasts. Just want to thank for another week, another successful podcast. We'll be back at it next week with 2 more guests. That's Attack of the Clones recap. Our last guest was a while ago. We had AJ Chapman, so we're excited to have more guests on the podcast. Spice things up a little bit. And thank you for having us. Thank you for listening, and we'll see y'all next week.